Okay, Saints fans and who that's, welcome to another edition of From the Coach's Office with Rick Gaille. This is Kyle Team Mosley. I'm here with Coach himself, Rick Gaille. How are you doing, Coach?
Doing absolutely great. Getting ready for a big weekend of football. It's actually starting tonight. I'm watching Carr and Brother Martin live on the station that I work with, WHNO, and it's also being streamed online at sportsnola.com.
Really?
What two great teams this is in New Orleans. Carr is up right now with 7 minutes left in the second quarter, 21-14. Neither team can stop the other one. Carr had only one drive, not result in a score. They threw an interception at the goal line. And Brother Martin was forced to punt one time. But other than that, both teams have just marched it up and down the field. They're playing at historic Tad Gormley Stadium, a stadium we're all familiar with, Kyle T.
Oh, yeah.
And, so this is really a great telecast, WHNO TV 20, and sportsnola.com, live high school football from Tad Gormley.
Well, that is awesome. I wonder if that's a premonition of things to come for the Saints and Giants game, marching it up down the field all night long.
It very well could, because the Saints' secondary is really hurting. They're very short-handed. And last year, Eli Manning had 6 touchdown passes. Drew Brees trumped him with 7. And the Giants are playing better right now than they did at this time last year. Certainly their receiving core is better than it was at this time last year. So it could turn out to be a very high-scoring game. I almost hope it is, that both teams are scoring, because I'm not certain if the Saints can stop anybody right now on a consistent basis.
Yeah, it's going to be a test for our Saints. Without Delvin Breaux, we got to see how critical he was for the whole Saints defense, and how teams started to game plan. You see how Oakland made the adjustment really, really early in the game once he went out and started to go to Crabtree. So we'll talk a little bit more about that, but let's do the prep breakdown from this past week. You know, you usually have some good analysis of some of these past games, Coach. So take it away. Which games caught your eye?
Boy, there was just some wonderful games all over the state, going all the way back to Thursday night. St. Thomas More shutting out Byrd 31-0.
Wow!
What a tremendous effort that was, because St. Thomas More in the Lafayette area, St. Thomas More and Turlings Catholic, both of them are just playing outstanding football again this year. They've been good for quite some time, and they're certainly going to be contenders again in the Lafayette area. And I mean, they'll be contenders statewide. They're going to be on the select side of things this year. In the battle on the border, something that was very surprising, that Tyler, Texas, put a number on Warren Eastern.
Oh, did
41-0.
Wow.
Yeah. That a very surprising result there. Curtis doing a great job against West Monroe, and really at the end of the game dominating them in the same battle on the border. That's a 3-day festival of high school football that they have in the Shreveport area, and just a great job by Curtis. I ended up sitting in for JT again on Friday Night Football last week with Ed Daniels, because JT was in the Shreveport area, but they did just a superb job up there. Also, some other scores from the area. Let's see. West Jefferson lost a close game to Lutcher, 33-32. The Lutcher Bulldogs is upriver from New Orleans, the 3A state champion last year. And what's unusual at Lutcher is that they played St. James, my old school, in the finals last year. And Dwayne Jenkins was the head coach at St. James, and now he's the head coach at Lutcher. He moved over across the river because he is from Lutcher, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
So he went back, and Robert Valdez has taken over at St. James, and St. James is now 2-0 going in to this week.
Now, where did Valdez come from again?
Valdez's first head coaching job was at West St. John.
Okay.
And then he left West St. John for 1 year and went to Scotlandville, did very well there. And now he's come back to St. James Parish over at the neighboring school of West St. John, because West St. John and St. James adjoin each other. That's the West Bank School in St. John Parish, of course, for West St. John, and St. James and the West Bank of St. James. So they are right next to each other. So he's just moved slightly upriver now,
okay.
and is really doing a good job there with the Wildcats. St. Paul's of Covington beat Jesuit last week, 13-10. That game always seems to come down to a field goal, and right at the very end, St. Paul's kicks a field goal to beat Jesuit 13-10. And quickly, some other scores. St. Charles, another River Parish school. They're 2-0 on the season, beating Thomas Jefferson. One of the highlight games in the area was Riverside Academy. Now, Riverside in Class 2A and Division III is certainly a state championship contender. They've been that way in basketball for some time, and they're doing the same thing in football. They go up to Baton Rouge and beat 3A Parkview Baptist 33-28. So Riverside Academy levels their record off at 1-1. Arid beat Riverside the first week in a close game. John Arid, who was our guest this past Wednesday day, just yesterday on Prep Recruiting Inside. Coach Corey Lambert is doing a great job with the Arid Patriots. They got beat in the state 5A finals last year, and they've got another outstanding team. They beat Riverside and then beat East St. John this past week, and that's one of the highlight games of the week is going to be the John Arid Patriots traveling up to Destrehan.
Now, didn't that young man from the young quarterback, what's his name, Mumphrey, he was the athlete of the week for NOLA.com, if I recall.
Yes, I think that's correct. There's a couple of players of the week in the area. We had Travis on the show with us Wednesday, as a matter of fact, the sophomore quarterback for the Patriots. Very interesting young man. We hope to have that video at sportsnola.com to get a chance to see the young man, but certainly very calm and very cool in his interview with us yesterday. So Travis Mumphrey is certainly an outstanding player. The other player of the week, and the one I'm more familiar with, is the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation Quarterback Club. Also names a player of the week, and that was Jakyle Holmes, the athlete quarterback at Ponchatoula.
Yeah.
Because Ponchatoula went all the way to Acadiana, to Scott, Louisiana, fell behind the Wrecking Rams by a couple of scores, but then came from behind and defeated them. And just an incredible job by Jakyle Holmes. So Ponchatoula is also 2-0 with two solid wins so far. Another school in this area, De La Salle, winning over Hancock, Mississippi. They've played 2 games in Mississippi so far. The Cavaliers are really back. They beat Hancock County, Mississippi, 38-13. That was the game of the week on the first NBC Prep Showcase that shows on WHNO and also at sportsnola.com as well. Awesome. And in the games that really matter, Kyle T., McDonough 35 beat Slidell 32-20.
Yeah.
So they certainly keep their winning ways. And as strange as it seems, St. Aug, how many times have we ever heard this in our lifetime, is 0-2.
Really? Wow.
After 2 weeks, yes. So they've gotten off to a difficult start. Scotlandville beat the Purple Knights 36-20.
Wow.
And so that's an interesting match. Brings up an interesting matchup this week, that the Purple Knights are playing the Charging Buccaneers of Landry Walker. And Landry Walker is 0-2.
Oh,
they
wow.
lost to Edna Carr last week, 42-34.
So somebody's going to have to come out a winner, and then somebody's going to be 0-3. Wow.
That's right, and possibly turn their season around. And that game is being played at Berman. Not the easiest place in the world to go to and win a football game.
Don't like Berman.
But no,
don't like
no. Don't care for that whatsoever myself. But that's going to be a desperate battle. Is a little bit taking it a little bit too close because St. Aug's going to make the playoffs, and because everybody on the select side in Division I or Class 5A will be in the playoffs, so it's not going to determine whether they're in or not. It could for Landry Walker because in 5A not all the teams get in. They have a complete bracket in 5A, so that's going to be even a bigger battle than it normally would be. Well, Archbishop Rummel goes to 2-0, and that's interesting to me because Ken Trahan and I are calling the Archbishop Rummel Wayne County game Saturday afternoon at 2:00 from Joe Yenny Stadium. Rummel goes up to Covington, who destroyed Franklinton the week before, and Rummel shuts out the Lions 21-0.
Okay.
So lots of good football. We're starting already. It is Brother Martin just scored. So with 3:10 left in the second quarter, they're getting ready to kick an extra point to try to tie the score at 21. Carr 21. Brother Martin, as he puts it right down the middle, 21. Once again, neither team can stop each other. It might literally be who gets the ball last because both offenses are just spectacular in their execution.
Well, I saw there was a change in the football rankings that John Curtis jumped over Brother Martin for number 1 in the rankings. You have John Curtis, then Martin, then you have Carr, Destrehan, Hahnville High. They come in at number 5. John Errett and the mighty Purple Knights are nowhere on the board, of course, because they're 0. I love to say that. But the McDonald 35 Ron Eagles are number 7 in the state. Then you have Rummel, Ponchatoula, and Landry wrapping up the top 10. So, pretty interesting for the Metro Prep football rankings in week 3. And, you have those smaller schools like you mentioned earlier, De La Salle and St. Charles. Those guys are in the top 5 of the rankings. De La Salle number 1, Riverside 2, St. Charles 3, Newman and St. James is 4 and 5 respectively. So you're St. James. So
yes, indeed. And without their highly rated quarterback, Lowell Narcisse, who had torn his ACL in a jamboree, but still Coach Valdez has them at 2-0. And
awesome.
So they're really playing good football. And that doesn't surprise me, to tell you the truth, because Robert Valdez is a first-rate football coach. He really knows what he's doing. I had a chance to compete against him, unfortunately, a couple of times, and he just he's a real football coach. Can teach the game the way it's supposed to be done. So the Wildcats are going to be a contender. Even without Lowell Narcisse, they will still have a very good football team.
Okay. And guys, do not forget, go to sportsnola.com and read up on the football news of the day for Saints, Tulane, LSU, as well as the prep scene. I know, Coach, when do you tape your show and have it on the air?
That's Wednesday from 6 to 7 o'clock on WHNO TV 20. We actually tape it Wednesday in the middle of the day, and it shows from 6 to 7. WHNO is pretty interesting during the football season. That's TV 20 down here. And they have a sports block from 6 to 7 o'clock so that they have some kind of sports programming. And Carr goes ahead 28-21 as we speak. That drive
they
went
are
real
just
fast.
scoring. Oh, man.
All the way at 2 minutes and 57 seconds now. But they have a sports block. Monday is Sports NOLA TV. Tuesday is a prep replay, prep recruiting.